The debate was the last chance for Trump and Biden to square off before Election Day. But while November 3rd is the last day to vote, it's hardly the only day anymore. Tens of millions of Americans have voted early, and Arizona voters are part of that trend, as Carolina Hassett reports from our Washington bureau.
Millions tuned in to last night's final debate between President Donald Trump and Democratic challenger Joe Biden. But more than 1 million Arizona voters probably just tuned out because they had already voted. The number of early voters is up sharply over the 2016 presidential election, driven by COVID-19 and fears of overwhelmed election systems.
Arizonans, like people everywhere in the U.S., are worried about COVID. And so many people prefer to vote by mail or to vote early to avoid crowds on election day.
Along with COVID worries come COVID voting restrictions that could make for long lines at polling places.
Just imagine having to have that 6 feet rule. That line is definitely going to be around the corner.
Other experts point to news reports about Postal Service delays.
There's been that talk about delayed mail service. So I think that has probably played more of a factor than anything.
Whatever the reason, voters aren't taking any chances. In Maricopa County alone, officials have processed 837,000 early ballots so far, 50% more than the 552,000 collected at this point in 2016.
There's tremendous interest in this election, and I think there's tremendous interest in avoiding COVID. And I think there's also a lot of concern about having your ballot counted.
Some county recorders we talked to were too busy to even give us a number. But the 9 counties we did hear from said they have already processed 1.2 million ballots, giving people yet another reason to vote now.
They're also getting those ballots in earlier because they also understand that so many people are choosing to vote this way.
Arizona is not alone. Early voting has increased across the country, but it appears to be dominated by Democrats, including in Arizona, where more Democrats have voted early than Republicans.
This may be related to the president suggesting that voting by mail isn't safe, that it may have turned off Republican voters.
Many Republicans are deciding that they will vote on Election Day.
Partisan or not, Terser thinks the decision to vote early is a good move on voters' part.
We all need to do things in a more timely fashion and not procrastinate, and that's what voters are doing.
In Washington, Carolina Hassett, Cronkite News.
You can still vote early in person, but the deadline to request a mail-in ballot was today at 5 p.m. If you have a mail-in ballot, it needs to be postmarked by next Tuesday, or you can deliver it by hand to a voting location or a ballot drop box until 7 p.m. on election night. For more details on voting, check out www.arizona.vote.